his mother's ex-boyfriend. And Texas lawmakers have agreed on a historic property tax cut deal. Plus, the search for an escaped inmate in Pennsylvania continues, with more details about his escape coming out.
We're going to have to do the best we can to stay cool because this heat dome is going to be around for a while, maybe up to 2 weeks. We'll have that forecast coming up.
After last night, the Victoria Generals won 12 in a row. We see if they can make it 13 tomorrow. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Karina Garcia. Don Brubaker has the night off. Shiner police forcibly entered a home after reports of gunshots in the 900 block of St. Lamita. 2 individuals were found dead inside. Sergeant Tim Pollock says their Shiner police are treating the case as a double homicide. The investigation is now ongoing. A 10-year-old boy is fighting for his life in Texas. On July 4th, he was shot 6 times with an AR-style rifle. Police say the suspect is his mother's ex-boyfriend. The images of the boy is disturbing, but his grandparents wanted the public to see them.
This was Cody John celebrating his birthday last year.
He likes to swim. He loves to ride bikes.
And this is the 10-year-old now, fighting for his life in the ICU.
It's a nightmare that you don't wake up from.
His grandparents wanted us to show you these photos to show how gun violence changed their grandson's life. Denton police say Cody was in his front yard with his mom. That's when her ex-boyfriend, Travis Rollins, drove 60 miles to the Denton home near Teasley Lane and got out of his truck.
He chased her with an AR back inside of the residence.
Police say he allegedly shot little Cody 6 times, hitting his face and head twice.
My daughter cradled my grandson, trying to encourage him to stay alive.
Cody was airlifted to Cook Children's in Fort Worth.
It's a miracle that he made it here.
His lung ruptured, femur broken, and jaw fractured.
He's fighting for his life.
And if he survives, we have no idea what his quality of life will be.
He's had multiple surgeries, but one of the bullets will stay in his brain forever.
To see him in that bed, being kept alive with machines, not able to communicate, not able to get up and play like other children are this summer. He didn't deserve this.
The couple claims the suspect was violent with their daughter and that she reported it to Midlothian police and ended the relationship. We reached out to Midlothian police about this, but hadn't heard back. Rollins is in jail facing 2 aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charges. The boy, once full of life, now left with an uncertain future.
After weeks of debate, the Texas House and Senate both agreed in principle on an $18 billion plan that would deliver the biggest property tax cut in Texas history. Here are some of the highlights of this tax cut. Over $12 billion will be spent on reducing the school property tax rate for all homeowners and business properties. Every homeowner who homesteads their home will get a $100,000 homestead exemption. Non-homestead properties valued at $5 million and under, including residential and commercial properties, will receive a 20% circuit breaker on appraised values as a 3-year pilot project. The legislation will also include savings on the franchise tax for small businesses and create newly elected positions on local appraisal boards. And so this brings us to your viewer poll tonight. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. The question is, do you think the deal reached by the Texas House and Senate for property tax cuts is a good one? Yes or no? Well, according to these results tonight, 81% are saying yes, and 19% are standing at no. Thank you for voting tonight. Visit us tomorrow for our latest viewer poll. The city of Victoria has entered stage 2 of its water contingency plan. All residents are required to limit non-essential water usage during the hours of 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and from 8 p.m. to midnight. The city of Victoria says the city has been in stage 1 of the plan since April, which was triggered when the Guadalupe River fell below its normal water levels. For a full list of the water restrictions, check out the article on crossroadstoday.com. And with that, let's take a look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis. Mac, what can we look forward to?
Well, thank you very much, Karina. And folks, you know, that water contingency plan, we're just going to have to follow it as best we can. I'll tell you why. If we overuse the water, what happens if it doesn't rain in 2 weeks? So we've got 2 weeks of water usage there. So we all have to be cautious and careful, and some of our yards aren't going to look so good. Anyway, we're 83 right now, feels like 92. Our high today was 101. How about that? We're going to be right about there for about 2 weeks. We'll have more coming up in a moment.
Mac, thank you. Pennsylvania State Police have increased the reward money for information leading to the capture of an escaped inmate. Michael Burham broke out of prison last Thursday. Authorities say he is dangerous, a survivalist, and has military training. They're offering $19,500 for information into his capture. Court documents show he escaped by climbing on some workout equipment in the prison gym and exited to the roof. Authorities believe he headed into a wooded area surrounding the prison.
We continue to find items. Those lead me to believe that there is still a likelihood that he is here. I also look at the absence of proof that he has gone anywhere else. And again, without telling you all of the factors that go into that, we constantly reevaluate that position. And again, we don't discount tips or leads that take us out of this area or even out of state. We work with our partners to follow up on those.
So you have found items within the last 24 hours?
We have.
Burham was jailed on arson and burglary charges and is a suspect in a murder. Authorities say he has enough supplies with him to stay in the area for some time. More than 150 police officers are currently looking for him. Former Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes could be released from prison early. She was convicted early last year on multiple charges of defrauding investors while running the failed blood testing startup company Theranos. She was sentenced to 11 years and 3 months in prison. According to a projected release date report posted by the Bureau of Prisons, she could be let out of prison nearly 2 years early. Holmes can earn good conduct time or participate in prison programs, which take off of time off an inmate's release. According to global cybersecurity company Trend Micro, Texas is at the top of the list for Amazon Prime Day scam victims. So this is a big problem as Amazon Prime Day begins today.
So it's getting more and more popular.
Buyer beware.
They grow everything big in Texas, and I guess the suckers are big there too.
According to global cybersecurity company Trend Micro, Texas is at the top of the list for Amazon Prime Day scam victims.
We're seeing about a 14.5% increase year over year from last year at the same time with Amazon.
Trend Micro technical director David Abramowitz explains.
One of the ways is simply an SMS text message that scammers are using. So they will say, we've got something that's not quite right with your account details. We're going to need you to log in.
But the link isn't connected to Amazon at all. Abramowitz also warns to be on the lookout for emails that seem too good to be true.
They may use things like a $100 Amazon gift card. Who doesn't want that, right?
In some cases, impersonators entice their victims by offering special discounts. Only when you go to make your purchase, you're redirected to a fake website that looks like Amazon, prompting you to give up all your valuable information. And then what you ordered never comes.
That's bad.
Instead, you may receive fraudulent charges to your debit or credit cards. Here's some ways to avoid that.
I go through the app, because websites, no.
Selena Balmaceda is on the right track, but Abramowitz says there are ways to make sure the website or email address is legit.
But usually when you roll your mouse over there, it'll show you the email address. 9 times out of 10, it's some made-up Gmail that has nothing to do with Amazon.
The same can be said for fake links.
They'll work the same way. If you roll your mouse over, it'll show you where it's actually going.
This fake Amazon.com.au site is a prime example. Also, check for grammatical errors as red flags when making a purchase.
Pack the Bus registration underway for children in need of school supplies. You can register to receive supplies online on the Faith Family Church website at myfcc.com/packthebus. Supplies will also be given Saturday, August 5th at the Faith Family location on Mockingbird. For questions about registration, stop by Faith Family Church Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to noon or contact Stephanie Kadingo at 361-573-2484. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, an 8-year-old boy in Alabama was arrested after a car chase. Also ahead, gun violence awareness hits the road to get the attention of lawmakers in Austin.
Hi, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs with the Victoria Police Department. Victoria Crime Stoppers, along with the Victoria County Sheriff's Office, is seeking information about a missing person. Noel Benavides Aguilar Jr. is a Hispanic male, 5'11", 160 pounds, with gray hair and brown eyes. He was last seen on Barbara Drive on Thursday, June 22nd, wearing a red shirt, black shorts, and black flip-flops. Mr. Aguilar has mental health issues and did not take his medication. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Noel Benavides Aguilar Jr., please call Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. You can also submit a tip by using the P3 Tip app on your Android or Apple device, or by visiting our website at crimestoppersvictoria.com. All tips are anonymous, and if you give information that leads to the location of Aguilar, you could earn a cash reward. With the Victoria Police Department, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs.
A police chase of a stolen vehicle in Montgomery, Alabama Tuesday ended with the arrest of an 8-year-old boy. Officers responded to a robbery call and shortly after tried to pull over a stolen vehicle. The driver didn't stop, beginning the chase. The stolen vehicle crashed into another vehicle several blocks away, but no one was hurt. A major with the Montgomery Police Department said an 8-year-old boy was taken into custody with charges pending. The major said a firearm was also recovered and the child was armed. Gun violence awareness is hitting the road. Families of victims from Uvalde, Santa Fe, and Parkland school shootings stopped in Austin Monday on a cross-country bus tour aimed at getting lawmakers' attention.
17-year-old Joaquin Guac Oliver was one of many who lost their lives in the Parkland High School shooting in Florida. The teen gunman, convicted of opening fire with a semi-automatic rifle at his former high school, killed 17 people. That school massacre, we all know, was not the last.
After Parkland, we learned a lesson, and then Santa Fe came, and they learned the lesson, and then many other shootings happen. And a lot of people that are not here learn the lesson. But the political inaction was still there.
Joaquin Oliver is the driving force behind Guac's magical tour. His parents, Manuel and Patricia, are hopping on their bus going across the country, stopping in cities including Santa Fe and Uvalde. The goal is to sound the alarm on gun violence even louder than before.
Anyone that is questioning, but what do you want? I want the whole country to be offended by what is happening here. A first world country that thinks that this is normal.
The Olivers were joined by other victims' families from Uvalde and Santa Fe at the Capitol, all pushing for action.
This building, it pisses me off so damn much because the people, the politicians in this building were more upset because I was louder than 85 decibels than the fact that our kids were murdered.
School is starting. You all will be buying books, school clothes, backpacks, and are you ready to add a coffin?
A harsh reality, these parents say, if state and federal lawmakers continue to refuse to take significant action to prevent gun violence.
The Parkland, Florida school shooter Nicholas Cruz avoided the death penalty, but he was found guilty in October and sentenced to life in prison without parole. The shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School remains the deadliest high school shooting in U.S. history. Charles Manson's follower, Leslie Van Houten, was released from a California prison after serving 53 years for 2 infamous murders. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation said she was, quote, released to parole supervision, unquote. Her release comes days after Governor Gavin Newsom announced he would not fight a state appeals court ruling that she should be granted parole. She received a life sentence for helping Manson's followers carry out the 1969 killing of a man and his wife. If the actors union doesn't reach a deal with the major studios and streaming services by midnight Wednesday, there could be a strike. The union also wants protections from AI being used to create characters using actors' voices and likeliness. SAG, or the Screen Actors Guild, merged with the American Federation of Radio, TV, and Radio Artists in 2012. With the writers' union already on strike, an actor strike would bring most remaining productions to a halt. The last actor strike was in 1980.
Well, good evening, everyone. I want to check this temperature with you. The hourly reports came in as a high of 98, which is maybe what you saw on all of the webs. But somewhere between 2 and 3 o'clock, temperature went up to 101. So that was a high temperature for us today. I'm sure tomorrow they're going to do some quality control on that. But unfortunately, it's not the record because the record was set back in 1970. Problem is, we're going to be in this heat wave for a long term. So yeah, we need to conserve water, we need to conserve electricity, and we need to conserve you. So let's talk about staying cool coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Well, good evening, everyone. You got the drill. It's going to be hot, and it's going to be hot for a long time. This is not a quick one. In fact, this heat wave, which I'm calling heat wave number 2, is actually bigger, broader, and longer than the first one we had last month. So, yeah, here it is. So these are the high temperatures recorded. 97 in Wharton, 96 down in Port Lavaca, 92 in Rockport, 102 in Kennedy, 102 in 3 in Gonzales. And just know that everything that's probably 20 or 30 miles away from the coast is going to be warmer because they don't have the Gulf air around them. These are the observed highs, and San Antonio got up to 103, 101 in Austin, 101 in Waco. Tomorrow these temperatures are going to be 1 or 2 degrees warmer. Hard to believe, I know, but that's just what's going to happen. Remember, this is now in a positive feedback loop. In other words, the sun beats down, it heats the concrete, the buildings, the metal. That retains the heat overnight, and the next day it gets more heat, so it gets hotter, and then it gets hotter. And so these temperatures are going to get to the ridiculous category very soon. And as long as that dome of high pressure is over the southwest, it's not just us, but it's us and all of the southwest. And by the time we get to this weekend, the thing's going to spread all across the south. In fact, from California all through Texas all the way to Florida, basically anything south of this line is going to be looking at extreme heat. And then how long? Well, here's the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. So July 19th to the 25th, we're still under that dome of high pressure. And I'll tell you this, a tropical storm could not get through this. It would be deflected either this way or this way, but it would not go through it. So don't be thinking that that's going to be our salvation. As the heat spreads, I just want everybody to know that Death Valley, California, which is famous for being hottest place on the continent, could likely be at 130 degrees this weekend. I mean, the forecast is for 129. So we may as well go to 130 while you're at it, you know. In the Atlantic, we do have one little system, but it is moving away from land, not a problem for anybody in the U.S. The Atlantic is quiet, but remember, the water is at 90 degrees already, way above average for getting going as soon as something moves. And then we have another system developing in the Pacific, but that's also going away from us. All we got to deal with is how to stay cool. Okay, ice cream, a quick bath in the middle of the day, lower your energy usage during the day. And here's a day planner for Port Lavaca, getting up at 8:30 in the morning, rather at 83 in the morning, and then getting up to 94 in the afternoon. You'll have a few morning clouds, but that's about it, and they won't help much. And then in Cuero, we start off at 81 and get up to 100. Now, farther west, out toward Kennedy and Pleasanton, they'll be at over 100 degrees because pretty much everybody away from the coast will be looking at this. So it's not funny, but it is here, and I think we got to laugh before we cry. We're looking at 98 to about 100 all the way through the weekend. And of course, the heat index will be even higher as we get closer to the weekend. Oppressive heat, so do the best you can to stay cool. That's your 7-day forecast. Want to remind everybody we do have a QR code. Scan that with your phone and put Crossroads Today right there on your phone. And now here's Gino with sports.
Thanks, Mac. A football coach is being released after an investigation. That's coming up after the break. At a crossroads, Northwestern University has fired head football coach Pat Fitzgerald after announcing last week that Fitzgerald would be suspended after a hazing report was released. The university has now fired the coach. An investigation began after the 2022 football season, which revealed a pattern of hazing in the university's football program. Fitzgerald had said he was caught off guard by the firing, and a legal expert in hazing says he believes the school should have been more aware. The Victoria Generals are off today and are getting their 12th win in a row last night. They beat the Baton Rouge Rougarou 5-2 behind a great outing from pitcher Jack Hagan. Catcher Levi Castaneja got the scoring started with his first bomb of the summer, a 3-run shot to make it 3-0 Generals. He also caught a runner stealing as well. The Generals only had 6 hits on the night, but they executed when they needed to the most. With the Generals riding high, they are sure to not get too cocky and to stay focused on the ultimate goal.
Like we have runners on base and we need a hit, we're gonna get that hit, or we're gonna bunt them in, sacrifice bunt, sacrifice pop fly, whatever we do, we're gonna get it done.
We feel great about our team. Try not to think about it, move forward, look ahead. What's done is done, and you know, the new pieces are coming in, fitting in well, you know, and everything's kind of gelling. You don't want to mess up too much because we got them here for a reason. They're good ball players. The last thing we want to do is overcoach them and not let them do what got them here.
The Generals were resting today, but they were hopefully not cooling off. The Generals will take on the Brazos Valley Bombers on Wednesday, looking for lucky number 13 in straight victories. No one knows if this win streak is the most wins in a row that the Generals have won, so we'll just have to see how far this thing goes. In other Victoria news, former General infielder Trey Richardson was selected in the 2023 MLB draft in the 15th round with the 455th overall pick by the St. Louis Cardinals. The 2023 MLB Home Run Derby is in the books, and a new champion was crowned yesterday. The title would go to a family member of a former home run champion in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The Blue Jay was close to winning the trophy in 2019 before falling to the New York Mets star Pete Alonso. In the final round, Vladimir needed 25 bombs to clinch the title, and he did. In total, the son of a Hall of Famer hit a total of 72 home runs in 3 rounds. And the MLB All-Star Game just ended, and the National League wins by 1 run, 3-2, thanks to an Elise Diaz 2-run shot in the 8th inning. This is the first time in 11 years that the National League has won the All-Star Game. Well, that's your sports. Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Shuna. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. We'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, video shows a restaurant completely destroyed by rising floodwater in Vermont. Chief of Staff nominee General Charles Q. Brown appeared before the Senate Armed Forces Committee today. Brown, who currently serves as Chief of Staff of the U.S. Air Force, was nominated by President Biden in May to succeed current Joint Chief of Staff General Mark Milley, whose 4-year term will end in September.
General Brown, you are well qualified to serve as Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. As the current Chief of Staff of the Air Force, you have led the service as it adapts to a rapidly changing global security environment. You bring a record of successful leadership around the globe and command experience at all levels of our military. This expertise will serve you well.
Brown has commanded at every possible level in the Air Force and in joint commands, including in Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. If confirmed, he would be the second black man to hold position of Joint Chiefs of Staff after Colin Powell. Now, a spectacular lava flow is occurring in Iceland after a volcano erupted near the capital. A volcano erupted in southwest Iceland Monday. The eruption followed intense earthquake activity in the region Monday. Lava and smoke began spewing from the side of the mountain, creating this spectacular view as the lava flowed down the mountain. You know, I've always seen lava, and it looks kind of gooey. I've always wanted to poke it. I'm not going to, obviously, but it looks pokeable.
It's about 2,000 degrees high. And if you drive up to the volcanoes in Hawaii, you'll be driving over, lava flow of 1847. Then you drive up higher and it's lava flow of 1905. Then you drive in 1962. And then you're at the top, it's a lava flow of 2010 going, wait a minute, is this going to flow again? It's pretty awesome when you see Mother Nature and Earth building like that. Folks, I wish I had better news for you, but it's going to be a long 2 weeks. We'll be hovering between 98 and 100 all week long. Heat index is going to be going up to the 115 category. So if you're working hard outdoors, take it easy and take care of yourself, okay?
Alrighty, thank you, Mac. Now, recent flash flooding in Vermont destroyed a restaurant. Check out this video images from Monday. It shows the flood water in Sam's Steakhouse. The owner said the water almost went as high as the ceiling. He said the restaurant was a total loss, but glad no one was hurt. The owner said another one of his restaurants, as well as his golf course, were also damaged by the flooding. So extreme heat or extreme weather, extreme flooding everywhere.
It's all extreme.
Yeah.
No in between.
No in between. Yeah, that's right. And any last advice to keep out of the heat out there?
This weekend, I would plan on something indoors. I mean, guys are going to do golf, or they're going to go fishing. As long as you got a breeze blowing, you'll be all right. But wear a hat, okay?
Yeah.
That's right.
Got my bucket hat.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Remember, join Carolina Astanain and meteorologist Trey Mining for 25 News Now Sunrise. Good night.